PTG, Proxy Table Gaming, Lucky Sixes and Hyper G.
Hello.
Into round 3.
Hello.
Art of War.
Hello.
I don't know if we're slowly phasing into me doing the weird intro and you just
I
sort
think
of
we
picking
are.
up on it.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you've. I don't think you're doing it consciously either.
No, I'm just sort of different.
I would hope that people watching this, every time they say hello to people, say it differently.
Well, I think they should.
Bonjour.
Oh, there you go. It's an evolution of PTG
of just
beginning
people
videos.
Communicating differently with people.
I think that's worth doing. What should we do now? Let's do a battle report.
Why not? While we're here.
Yeah, it's
while we're here chatting.
Winning formula, right? So in my rounds 1 and 2, I've come up against Shooty ID and got 9 points. I've come up against Warriors and suffered through, but escaped with 7 points after, unfortunately, my opponent passed a rerollable 4. And it shaped the rest of the battle. But, it was a good battle and a good bloody chaos fight.
So you're on 16 points, I want to say?
Yes, 16 points from 2 games. It's not a disaster, despite the 2 L's in the column. It could be a lot worse. That's, you could lose heavy and not be anywhere near that. So, nothing to be too worried about.
About the middle of the pack.
Exactly. Just chasing in the chasing pack, maybe. And drawn up against Warriors again in round 3. So I'm going to say it now. Don't worry about the Feral Orc 6-up armor saves, because everything in the Warriors list has got AP1 at least.
Yeah, the armor. Yeah.
So we're still on 15.
I mean, the good thing is
failed. So
like going into the tournament, Warriors was second most popular, so you're kind of expecting it. And with I guess with myself and Tony and Paul playing it from the club, I guess you've had quite a lot of experience against Warriors as well.
I have played Warriors quite a lot lately, yeah, absolutely. And I do kind of consider myself to be not massively surprised by a lot of what they have. So, like yourself, it was Counter Thrust and Spoils of War, all good.
And Spoils for your list, we're thinking you've got like 20 scoring units, right?
Absolutely, I have loads of scoring units. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm just, I'm hurriedly going to our last battle report because I know that somebody suggested a name for one of my old characters.
Oh yes, there was a few actually. I think Duncan Triggs, I want to say.
That's it. Yeah. Let me try and find it. There you go. He suggested for my war boss, Azanax. However, I politely declined because my war boss is already called Shagger Heartless. Yeah, exactly. It's Shagger. So I said, would you mind terribly if my shaman became Azanax? So now my shaman, my orc shaman, Feral Orc, is called Azanax. Azanax, yeah. Which is cool. I like it. He's got paired weapons. He's actually got Azanax.
He's using paired weapons. Azanax.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. I like it. So that is what we're going with.
So yeah, cheers, Duncan, for that.
Absolutely. There are more characters to name, so keep coming with them. I'll take more, absolutely, including name for the Gargantula, who really probably should have one by now. But anyway, that is my list. Like you say, Spoils of War is probably quite a good one for me because I have taken 4 units of mobile cavalry that all score in order to grab objectives and then run away with them.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes, really. Andy Barton is my opponent, probably should mention. What a great guy. I'm telling you, I really enjoyed my experience of being opposite Andy. He is such a positive person, really fun to talk to. I will say as well, we struggled time-wise because we were just having a laugh and having a really good time. And I'll spoil the fact that Andy actually joint won Best Sport. He actually ended up winning Best Sport on the decider that they did, which was to compliment one another, which was hilarious to watch and very good fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing Andy, so hopefully that will come across in this report. So thank you, Andy, for that.
I like looking at the Warriors lists as well because the font's bigger.
Sure, there's less to digest, isn't there? Yeah, absolutely. He has his EH, or Exalted Herald, as the general, which is all good to see. Obviously, I know well aware what that does because you play it. Sorcerer on a Dark Chariot, which is pretty cool. Evo, and Lord of the Damned. I wasn't don't really know much about what that does.
Rerolls to the random movement.
That makes sense because I ended up knowing he had that. I didn't know where he got it from.
Yeah, so I think it's within 18 inches.
On the
Wretched ones and
Forsaken
one. Yeah,
yeah, brilliant.
I forget. Are they irredeemable? I think maybe is a thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Or whatever they're called, they get the rerolls on the random.
Brilliant. Yeah, I like it. Cool.
Interesting that he's gone the general and the herald instead of the sorcerer. I guess he's planning to put the sorcerer in more, but the herald actually, as a general, is quite fragile.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Interesting.
Although obviously I don't have a lot of range, so in this particular situation, it might not be too bad. 25 warriors with the Zealot's banner champion. Interesting, they've got no mark or no what is it called, mark these days?
Yeah, it is mark. I don't know whether the maximum is 20. It might be 25
sure.
now, to be
so
fair.
He's gone with numbers, and Zealot's banner makes that very worthwhile. So they're pumping out a lot of attacks. 5 fallen, pretty familiar seeing them as core fillers, and they're pretty good as well as light troops. Warhounds, 4 chosen knights, I'm familiar with them. Gluttony, very cool. Is that the one they get stronger the more they kill, or something like that? I think.
I can't remember Gluttony. Gluttony's one I hardly ever use. It might be the one where if they don't pursue, they get an extra strength, like they're feeding off the thing.
That's it. The carcasses. Yeah. 6 wretched ones. I faced them at Tech, and I'm not really that scared of wretched ones. I'll be honest. Even with a reroll on the random move, strength 4, AP 0 doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I know I haven't got a lot of armor in my army.
You're res 4 though, so
yeah. Feldrak Elder, that is troublesome, obviously. Pretty brutal. The Forsaken one, again, it has its strengths, but hopefully I can pick about that. Chosen Chariot with Gluttony again. So, and the Chosen Chariot's very tough. 2 up plate armor as well. So
I think it's 5 wounds as well. So it's like
yeah. And then a Chimera with wings. Yay! A Chimera does have wings. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that in action. Here we go. So my deployment was thus, as Lucky Sixes tends to say. I have my common orcs, Ed Bashers with lances on the left-hand side. I've got my core unit of feral orcs just inside them, with the Scuttler spiders in the forest. I believe it was a forest. There was no Wasteland Torch in this one. Another unit of Goblin Raiders just behind them, and the Gnashers in a kind of like almost a chaff pocket in the middle there, and they can literally go in any direction they want to go in those 4 units. I got one of the Manglers, the Gnasher Wrecking Teams, I should say, in front of the Gargantula. The Gargantula's planning on basically just zoning, really. He doesn't really want to go in unless it's absolutely ready. The Feral Orcs is bang in the middle because I want that middle objective, and I'm going to basically just say charge me. And, I've got the Ferals, despite coming on the losing end to the Warriors in the last game, they're not actually feeling badly in terms of confidence. Like they didn't.
Well, they did win
a
combat, so
exactly. So
and they had a chosen lord in. So
yeah, exactly. And Andy doesn't have that. So yeah, I'm thinking, still go with your gut instinct on that.
Agreed. Yeah.
There's a wrecking team on the other side of them, near a unit of Ed Bashers, ferals. The Scuttler Spider is also scoured in front of them. I'm thinking maybe do the same trick and, chaff and bring him forward against me. On the hill, I've got my chariots, and I think I've got another unit of ferals on the other side of the hill. For Andy, it was counter thrust. Andy somewhat made a mistake, and because he was such a positive guy, he forgot to deploy his Warhounds and ended up sticking them there on his flank, I think was the story behind that. Right, okay. And I mean, I'm delighted seeing Warhounds there because that's no trouble for me whatsoever. But I think that was because he forgot to deploy them and ended up just putting them there. So that's that.
He's only got 2 scoring. Am I right in thinking that?
Yes, the Chosen Knights and the Warriors, indeed. So again, spoils is probably going to be pretty tricky for him.
Okay.
Because the maximum he can get is 2, and that's if he holds both of them.
Yeah.
He has got the chariots. That's the Chosen Chariot in the middle. The EH is behind the Wretched ones, and then his general on a Dark Chariot is next to the EH. The Warriors further on. Then you've got the Forsaken one, then the Chimera, and then the Feldrak Elder. As you go forward. So he's pretty strong on that that flank up there, and I haven't really got a lot other than my chariots on a hill.
Yeah.
So see how that goes. I got some pictures of Andy's army because they're beautiful. You got a little mini two-headed one, not mini Cerberus.
Couple of them, yeah.
Not quite, yeah. Really cool, nice pictures. Oh, is the Fallen and next to the
behind
Chosen
the tower,
Knights. Yeah, exactly. They're actually one wide, facing forwards actually. Yeah, lovely work.
Yeah, very nice.
Really, really good to see, like in the wretched ones as well. There's just some beast herd parts in there as well, which is really cool. Very appreciative of the efforts that have gone into that. So I get turn 1. I did drop for turn 1, I believe. So I go forward, and I've created this little circle. Really,
absolutely, yeah.
You know, I'm really happy with how that's turned out in terms of it looking nice. Anyway, I march really far forward with my common orcs on the left. I'm not scared about the warhounds charging me. I know they get devastating charge +1 strength, but it isn't +1 AP.
No.
So I would have a 2-up armor save against it. So I'm just going for them basically. I move my Scuttler Spiders in front of his Chosen Knights. I am aware that they will get +1 strength for killing them, so I'm kind of gifting them their ability right from the off. But at the same time, I'm using them as a screen for my Feral Orc core unit to get the spoils. I basically need to pick it up in my turn 2 and then move, because you can't march.
Do one,
8 inches back towards, 7 inches, and then if I were 8 inches away and just run or move slowly the rest of the game.
Yeah.
To run away with a spoil, which is always the plan with your mobile cavalry, really. I think basically the curve hasn't really changed in terms of what's placed where. The only thing is that the wrecking teams have both gone forwards. They are far apart, and I have checked that there isn't a unit of Andes that can kill both of them in one go. So I was happy with that. And the gang actually just fills in the gap where the wrecking team left. And I'm still on the hill with my chariots. So there is an element of zoning, even though I don't really think I want to charge my chariots into
not really.
Feldrak or anything like that. So. Not Feldrak. Do I mean Feldrak?
Yeah, Feldrak Elder.
Yeah, or the Elder, either. This is a picture of me learning my lesson, hopefully, with the wrecking teams, and they are further apart. And Andy's go. I don't get magic off much. I've got a lot of range, and I think he shut down my range in magic in my turn 1. So with his irredeemable reroll wretched ones, he barrels forward and shows no fear of going into a wrecking team. I do 7 wounds to him.
That's a good return.
I was happy with that. Really happy
return,
with that. Yeah. So my wrecking teams go 3-2 up in terms of reaching the enemy lines in that sense.
You do well not to in a non-shooty warriors though.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I mean, he hasn't got a great deal of magic. He's just got his EH and his sorcerer. So yeah, happy with that. There's that. Over here, his other random mover goes quite far forwards. I'm not sure whether Andy really used his rerolls. I think he actually just rolled where he wanted to go first time round.
Well. Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's just
exactly. Yeah. He charges into my Scuttler Spiders, of course. What else is he going to do? And like I say, he does get the +1 strength on that. He also charges in here because it's his best chance he's got, really. I mean, he could faff around and make charge him. Yeah, he may have even been able to use the Fallen to help with that. But he decides, well, they hardly ever use their +1 strength charge.
Yeah,
so why not give it a go? And if he gets lucky, he is attacking first. He might be able to pop off 1 or 2.
Roll a few ones, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. There's always a chance. Over here, that's just a picture of how he moved forward quite conservatively with the warriors. They're obviously going for that spoil. His EH didn't move forward at all, which I was intrigued by. Because, I mean, it does leave a little bit of a gap.
It doesn't want to get popped
like
by
you. Yeah, like you're saying.
Wretched. No, not wretched ones. Wrecking team.
No.
It doesn't like
true.
that. General as well. That's 1,060 points.
Yeah,
you get that. That's your wrecking team sorted for the rest of the tournament.
And there's half his magic in the EH as well. Yeah. So yeah. The Chosen Chariot moves up to zone around the wretched ones, and on his flank he joins his Feldrak Elder and his Chimera forward, not caring about
going back one ever so slightly. What
sure.
is do you any idea of the Herald? What he took in terms?
He's
of
got Wrath of God. He's got Wrath of God.
Oh, sorry, I meant in terms of manifestations. So is he plus one strength or anything?
I was hoping that would answer the question.
Okay.
Is Wrath of God not one
No, you take Hellfire and Wrath of God as standard. So,
okay. So that doesn't help then, does it? I don't think it comes into play.
Fair enough. It's fair enough.
So yeah. So
because one of them is fly.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is hard target. That might be the same one. One of them is a breath weapon and stubborn. One of them's stomp. Plus one strength, plus one attack, plus one AP.
I think it might be that one because I don't remember him having hard target, and there wouldn't be much sense in taking that because I don't have a lot of shooting.
No.
Similarly, I don't recall him using a breath weapon. So, yeah, I'm going to say the boosting.
I think that's Emissary of Chaos. I think that is
sure. Yeah, I mean, Andy, if you see this, pop it in and let us know. Cool. Yeah, over here, that's just how he moves forward. Over here, I don't take any wounds. I pass all my armors, 2-up save, and he does get away though. So
are the Fallen facing you?
They are not. No, they are facing forwards.
Okay.
And it is my turn next. So there is that. He kills some spiders and gains his +1 strength. He doesn't. In order to get that, he can't pursue or overrun. So he chooses to do that, which is fine. Over here, I charge and clear off the Warhounds off the board, and then I redirect into the flank of the Fallen. I won't say too much about that now. We'll move on from there.
I've got a prediction as well.
Sure. I'll listen to your prediction. Go on, give you a prediction about that then.
Well, as bad as that may seem for him, he has 3 attacks each on each Fallen at Strength 4, AP 1, going before you, I think, at Agility 4. I'd say he wipes the floor.
Sure, absolutely. We'll see, won't we?
That's what I think.
Yeah. In my turn, I charged the Gargantula into the Wretched Ones. They are only Strength 4. I'm Res 6. I figure, yes, he's
always attacking.
Yeah, exactly. He's always attacking. But I figure I can grind that out, providing I can chaff his chariot and his knight from helping the Wretched Ones out for a few turns. And you'll see a better picture of it in a minute, but I did manage to get my Goblin Raiders into that position. You'll see a better picture of them in a minute, in front of the Chosen Chariot. The Wrecking Team avoids the forest to avoid DTs and goes straight for his Forsaken one. And amazingly, awesomely for me, it literally lands on the objective. So that is a whole turn that his warriors either don't go on the objective or they take a Wrecking Team for it. So
yeah.
That's perfect placement as far as I'm concerned. Really it's actually better than going through the Forsaken one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Standing on the objective there. I move off the hill. He won't be able to charge my chariot, so I wasn't ever thinking about... I mean, there wasn't any way I could charge the Chimera and go all the way through, because I think my chariots can take the Chimera if I charge it, but there wasn't any way that I could avoid the Elder.
Yeah.
And also the Forsaken one's random move, so even if the chariots go past there, he just turns around and destroys me.
Agreed.
So I tap out on that direction. What I do with my unit of Feral Orc Boar Boys in the middle is I move them behind the Feral Orcs with the intention that my Feral Orcs can then go gung-ho forwards. And there's an objective like under the Gargantula.
Yeah.
And my plan is for these Orcs to pick that up behind my Gargantula and Feral Orcs. So my Feral Orcs don't have to stop, they can just keep going.
Sure.
And then I'll have 2 objectives, which obviously is awesome.
Yeah.
Fight it out for the 3rd, is my thinking there. Over here, you can see the Goblin Raiders have chaffed the Chosen Chariot and the Knights.
Nice.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, really good.
So, yeah, it's a bit of congerage, but that's beautiful when you can move 18 inches. And, yeah, the Boar Boys on the left have indeed claimed the objective and are now in the process of running away. The Nashers are just sitting in reserve, really. I didn't want to give an overrun for the Chariot into the Nashers. Because the Chosen Chariot is in the flank of the Raiders, so you can just. I think I'm 12.1 away from the Nashers.
Sure.
Which is a classic U trip.
12.1.
That's it.
Anything .1.
Indeed, I get in with the Common Orc Head Bashers, of course, which is fine. I mean, I'm seeing. I won't lie. I'm seeing a juicy flank charge into the Chosen Knights. Yeah. Again, I'll refrain from commenting too much, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing I've got a 2-up armor save. I'm strength 7 on the charge. That's nice. I'm seeing all that.
Agreed.
Yeah. This is this. I don't know why I took another picture of that. Maybe I was proud of it. I get amazing Quicksilver Lash off. I do 4 wounds, the maximum wounds
he counts
to
down.
the Chosen Chariot. He counts down, yeah. Oh. That's incredible. I'm not sure whether he let it off or not.
To be fair, it's wounding on 2s with no save.
Exactly. So I mean, it's. And you'll also might think, hang on, how has Hyper G got himself Quicksilver Lash? That would be the crown of the Wizard King.
What a time!
What a time to roll alchemy, man!
What a time!
Oh, perfect! And it's already made its money's worth. That entire item is now worth its money for doing this. To a Chosen Chariot.
Chosen Chariot's like 360, isn't it? So to get 4 out of 5 is roughly 75 points per wound.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more. 70, but let's say 75 for ease. So that's 300 points.
It's brilliant.
And Wizard Crown's 45?
Oh, yeah.
So it pays for itself just in that one. It literally does.
Exactly. So, this is my armor save on the Fallen attacking first. Oops.
So 15 attacks, probably hitting on 3s. Right, so down to 10. Wounded on 4s, so probably over the odds in terms of the wounding by 2, maybe. But that's a poor roll.
I had a 3-up armor save. Yeah. I was just hoping to rely on my 3-up armor save. I'll be honest. I had done the maths in that I knew he was attacking first. I don't think I anticipated that he would be hitting on 3s. I thought he was hitting on 4s. Because I just thought Fallen, Chaff, Light Troops, they're not that great. But actually, they are actually...
They're really good. I think they're offensive 5, for... Oh, yeah. It might be 5 with paired weapons, actually. And then defensive 2. So that's... I mean, they've still got 4-up armor. I know that they don't to you. But...
Yeah. But, I mean, it doesn't matter what I've got now. Because I literally lose 5 guys and I'm dead.
Yeah.
Forget about that overrun into the Chosen Knights. So it was a bit like, oh man, what have I done now?
I think maths wise they killed 2.
Yeah.
But obviously it's just spiky, isn't it?
And
it's bad roll. And this was the spike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was a bit like, oh man, this was going so well, and I was already feeling like this battle was going well at this point.
Sure.
And that was like, no. Yeah. He charges with both in here. Because why not? I mean, the Fallen are kind of trapped in that corner, which is something at least.
Yeah. Do the Chosen Knights? Is it cumulative?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's just the first. Is it just the first time they do it?
I think it's just the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be amazing if it wasn't.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because if it wasn't, if it was cumulative, then feeding them chaff all game is probably not a great idea, especially with only 2 turns gone.
Yeah.
He decides to random move his random move through my random move, and if he's counting down again, I do 4 wounds to a Forsaken one, which is amazing. I mean, that's 4-2 wrecking teams, and awesome work from the wrecking teams in this battle. They've more than made up for my blunder of dying to 1 unit of Warhounds in the last round.
Certainly helps. That does.
Yeah, and of course, because they're doing that, the Warriors still can't get on that objective. Which is great as well. I mean, Andy knew that putting the Forsaken one through the wrecking team was going to hurt a little bit. It is 3d6, strength 6, AP 4. Not that, although he has a fortitude 5 up, which obviously he still gets. So there was hope that the out of everything, the Forsaken one probably could survive it, and he did roll rather badly to take 4 wounds, I think.
Sure.
Still delighted with that. Over here, he moves both of these onto the hill, as you would expect. I hid behind the hill for 1 turn. Can't be doing that anymore. And so there is that. Obviously, I'm already thinking of how I can get my units out of here. But that's the situation. What he does do, going back to this picture, I said to you, I didn't think his warriors could get on the objective. Andy proves otherwise and actually really forces his warriors forwards here with the sole purpose that he's shaving the objective with the unit with the intention to pick it up in his turn 3. I mean, obviously, when he does this, it's like the dollar signs in my eyes, really, because I'm I'm liking the look of that position there,
Sure.
with my ferals in front of Forsaken One, with an overrun into the flank of his warriors.
Yeah.
So but yeah, there is that. I mean, that's plain for me to see. I'd spotted that right the moment he did it. So yeah. In the middle, I've got the Gargantua is plugging away at these wretched ones. I didn't think the Gargantua would go through them in one turn or
slow
in
going,
2 turns.
Yeah, that seems...
So I was just knocking that down. I think the Gargantua did 5 wounds in. Was it 5 wounds?
Yeah, 3 rolls.
4 or 5.
Down, yeah.
So in the first turn of combat, which was fine. The EH moves forward because now he's got to worry about wrecking teams, which was fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Looks like the guy should take a wound as well, but that's fine. He just rolled a few 6s to wound. Over here, he puts pressure on with the Fallen onto the boars, and obviously I can't march.
And they are route 6-12. So
yeah, there is actually genuine chance that he can catch me. So I have got to consider how I am actually going to get away with them. Over here, he does a Graves Call on my orcs and kills 6, which is easily my unit filler. Nicely, I just removed my unit filler, which is cool. I couldn't stop everything. Graves Call was one that he could do.
Yep.
Kills the Goblin Raiders, as you would expect, and now the Chosen Knights are free to move on. He didn't actually overrun, so maybe it is cumulative, but he didn't use tokens to signify.
I've got a feeling as soon as I asked, I think it is first time.
Sure, yeah, I think so too, but yeah. He was happy with just pivoting with them anyway. Maybe he's also thinking of going after the boars with the objective, but with them. He does want a scoring unit to gain the objective off them. So
he needs to,
yeah. Over here, the Gargantua has a good round of combat. Does take another wound, but kills off all but 1 wound. It was actually a bit unlucky that I didn't kill them in his turn. Because if I have the next turn, I've got a few options to charge my Gargantua into.
It's beautiful.
But obviously, he is unbreakable, so he's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I declare this charge because it's too juicy not to, really. No hiding that. I also declare this charge after his chariot overruns, because I kind of like the idea of Nashers against a 1-wound chosen chariot. Yeah, my Nashers are. Yeah, and he will attack first with some of his guys on top, but I feel I've got enough teeth to strike back.
Just need to do 2 wounds on average.
Yeah, so I'm liking it. And I get in here with auto, so there was nothing to worry about that. And yeah, that's looking nice. Obviously, I've got the potential of, if this doesn't work out nicely, I've got an EH and a Dark Chariot coming in my flank. But I'm not thinking about that. It's too good an opportunity to miss. I get in with the Nashers, which is cool. Liking that. And I hide under the ruins over here.
Good work,
I can't march, so I'm not taking DTs.
Yeah.
In fact, what I do is I actually declare the War this turn to give them an extra 1-inch move. Just a little extra to make the Fallen a longer charge, I'm hoping. And also, I felt that because my Ferals were now on the aggressive practically in combat, my Gargantua's in combat, I didn't feel I needed the War Cry anymore. So using it here was a worthy way of using it. Over here, I can't remember whether I stick with this or not. I might take this back. No, I think I do stick with it. I chaff with my boar boys in front of his Feldrak Elder and the Chimera.
Chimera's got wings, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. And I forgot. So I did forget that. I mean, obviously the Feldrak is chaffed, and that is probably the bigger priority, the chaffing.
Yeah, for sure.
But my chariots are still well within Chimera charge range, and I'll be honest, I have forgotten the Chimera flies in this chaff. So I was thinking I'd chaffed both. And I think it was around the end of my turn, start of Andy's, when it dawned on me that the Chimera could charge over. But it was far too late to change it. And I just kept stum, really. So I just kept very quiet. My boar boys have now circled round, so they're going for the objective under the Gargantua, hopefully. My Scuttler Spider also chaffs the EH.
Which must mean he's not got the fly either.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I definitely don't remember it having to fly, and Andy didn't fly over me in any way. So that's cool.
That's a brave Scotland spider. That is.
Oh, he's a legend. I mean, that guy needs a name because he's doing well this tournament. He's doing some real tough moves. Over here, I do cascading fire because I can do that in combat. I do? I think I target the Chimera. I must do. So I don't know when's the Chimera here, or maybe somewhere. But yeah, cascading fire. The reason I'm taking cascading fire is because I want my feral orc shaman pyro in combat as opposed to pyroclastic flow, which obviously you can't do in combat.
Mm-hmm.
I get bring the pain off on the warriors because I'm foreshadowing my flank charge on them. Ambitiously, it just assuming I'm getting through the Forsaken one. And I do. I do get through and I do overrun and I am into the flank of the warriors and that is beautiful. Yeah. What I will say regarding the Forsaken one was my war boss did not kill the Forsaken one. My impact hits, which was before the war boss, did not kill the Forsaken one. Then I did my shaman, even though it's the same stats as the unit. I did not kill them. Oh, it came down to literally Andy could have fortituded. Yeah. It was like close to being an average roll saves the Forsaken one's life. And he's unbreakable. So if he does actually survive with even one wound, the whole plan has failed.
Absolutely.
But it just went my way. And so it was a lot less pretty than I would have liked.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a nice situation to be in. In all kinds of ways. The Nashers do their job and go through the Chosen Chariot, which is awesome.
Nice.
I also overrun perfectly to get out of line of sight of the Chosen Knights, which is awesome.
Yeah, cool.
So it's all working out pretty nicely, I'll be honest. And the Gargantula kills off the last remaining wretched one. The Chosen Knights, I think I'm not sure whether I pivoted to stop them being able to see the Gargantula, or it's just a long way. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like a long way.
Yeah, it's quite a long way. But that's all great, and obviously I've already chaffed the EH as well, so not too concerned about that. If he comes forward with his Dark Chariot Sorcerer, doesn't bother me. I'll kill him back, hopefully. This is him measuring into the balls with his Chosen Knight, so there obviously is a charge available, and I can't flee it.
Sure.
So I think that's just an overview of how it looked actually, and it just so happened he was measuring as I took the picture. Over here, he declares the charge with the Chimera into my feral boar boys, and I was delighted because I don't know if Andy remembered he could fly, and he wasn't chaffed, but it could just be a simple choice of wanting to kill them more, which is fine.
Sure.
Absolutely fine. And yeah, I was delighted that my chaffing error hadn't cost my chariots. Because the Chimera comes into the chariots, I don't have a lot off the charge on my chariots.
Yeah.
So over here, he goes into the Scuttler Spider, and he just moves up with his Chosen Knights. So that's absolutely fine. Over here, he marches. He doesn't take the bait and declare a long charge, which is the right thing to do. So well done there. He's very much closing the gap between the Fallen and the spoil-carrying boars. I think he does 2 more wounds with magic to the spider, eventually. Can't remember what it is he casts. It was obviously... I don't think it was Graves' Call, but I could be wrong. But he's done 2 wounds. The Gargantua's on 4 wounds now anyway, so... Cool. Kills the Scuttler. And he overruns, because it was possible, he overruns double 1.
Nice.
So, there was a chance. I think it was like a 9 or a 10 maybe to get into the Gargantula with the overrun. Obviously, I couldn't stop that because I was only pivoting from the wretched ones. But yeah, he only rolls a double 1. So that's unfortunate. So I think the EH attacking first against the Gargantula could have actually done a bit of damage.
With only 4 wounds left.
Yeah, and probably sucked up anything the Gargantula does back if it doesn't kill it in one go. So. Over here, it's carnage. Absolute carnage. You would not know that they were warriors, the job that my orcs did on them.
Wow.
Obviously, I am hitting on 4s rerollable.
Rerolling, yeah.
Which is amazing, obviously. And I'm wounding on 3s. I'm wounding on 3s.
Yes,
and I've got battle focus. It's not pretty. Yeah, I'm AP. I think I'm AP3, so the warriors don't have much of a save. Yeah, it's not pretty at all.
Ouch.
Definitely. So made the most of that opportunity, and I do pursue them. There is enough for me to think about whether or not I let them go. Not for long. I basically pursue them, and because I actually used the war cry to get my feral orc boar boys 1 inch further, I've actually got swift stride on my feral orcs. So that was like an extra thing that I didn't really account for at the time I declared the war cry. But in this overrun, it was very important that I managed to overrun and kill his warriors. So if I spend the next 2 or 3 turns actually running them down or trying to get them again, then my ferals are out of the game. I am also by default on top of the spoil of war with the ferals, which is nice.
Sure.
Over here, the boar boys die, which is as expected, but they've done their job, especially as they possibly shouldn't have been the job. And he overruns. Maybe he charged with his Feldrak as well, actually, because it looks like he overruns with both.
Yeah, sure.
What's interesting about this, though, because I did briefly mention it earlier, is that in doing this maneuver, his Chimera and his Feldrak Elder have somewhat widened apart, which I am taking close eye on.
Right, sure.
For a potential countercharge with my chariots, especially as the Chimera has taken 1 wound. Over here, I declare a charge with my Gigantula past the EH on the Dark Chosen Dark Chariot Sorcerer guy. I think I need a 7 to get into there, which is very doable, and that's a chance to kill his only magic as well, and get past the EH, which is awesome. I do declare this charge on the Chimera, and there you can see the overrun potentially if I go through the Chimera with 3d6 plus 3, strength 5 hits on the Chimera. I will go past, and yeah, I'm liking that a lot.
Happy days.
Which is kind of what I saw when I was on the hill earlier, but I couldn't do it because the overrun wasn't favourable at that point. Now
and they've moved wider because they had to maximise, right?
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
because they both charged in.
Yeah, they basically want. Yeah, exactly right. Over here, I play a bit tricksy with my unit of feral orcs. I don't go for the objective in the end because my feral orcs have now got the other one, so I've got 2 already. And I figure I can keep my points. I don't really need to give him the middle objective by picking it up with these guys and then dying to Chosen Knights. So he's got to either go after them or go for the objective. He can't do both. With his minimal scoring units, especially now his warriors are dead. He's only got 1 scoring unit on the board. And I move as far as I can away with these to again give a failable charge with his fallen. This is how it looks with my feral orcs turning around to face his 2 characters in the middle. My Gigantula did fail the charge into the sorcerer, which is a bit of a shame because I mean obviously that would have been nice to have gone toe-to-toe with a sorcerer. But yeah, 7 available even with Swift Stride. So there's that. Yes, I get flaming swords off on my chariots to give them a reroll to wound, which is awesome, makes them even more likely to kill the Chimera. I do with the blaze, I get a wound off on his sorcerer, so I'm properly bullying these characters, which is nice. And confession time, this is wrong. I cast Raven's Wing on the Gigantula. We have found out after reports, actually, in your practice game with Nav is when I realised, because we reported on that a few weeks ago, you said how you shouldn't have been able to do Raven's Wing on a unit that's failed to charge because it's shaken. And at that point, literally at that time we recorded that battle report, I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
I did that at Art of War. And confession time, hands up. I'm very sorry, Andy, but I should not have been able to do Raven's Wing to get my Gargantula out of there. I should not have been able to do it. It's not possible. But obviously, in hindsight, you can't go back and change that.
Yes,
I did do it at the tournament, and it means the Gargantula is out of dodge, not going to get a flank charge from the Knights and
that's big.
Charge from the EH. So that is me potentially saving my Gargantula, which should not have been allowed to do. So, hand on heart, very sorry about that, Andy. But yeah, I only found out after the tournament that I shouldn't have been able to do that. That's one of those unfortunate things where, because we are reporting on our battles, we actually have to live and die by our mistakes.
Yeah, it's a really easy one to make because, like, it's just literally just a word in that sentence.
That they become shaky.
So it's a very niche reason to not move a Raven's Wing thing.
Yeah.
So
in battles that I've done since this, obviously I have learned that, and I have literally I won't do it again because of that. So it's something I've now learned, and hopefully these reports get the word out.
That's it, mate.
Charge,
so others don't.
You can't Raven's Wing. So there you go. But sorry, Andy. Anyway, I go through the Chimera, which is awesome. So that's another thing, and I go past the Feldrak Elder. The Elder already has nothing to charge, which is amazing. I love that because that's a very destructive unit of his. And the last picture is how we end, and it actually ends at the end of my turn 4 because we were having so much fun. Like I say, we were talking a lot. There's a possibility, of course, that his Fallen, because we ended at the end of his turn, my turn 4, his Fallen. I said, do you want to roll your Fallen charge on my Boar Boys? Because if you get in with the Fallen, we can quickly do that combat, because that's literally on the other side of the battle. And that potentially draws the objective. And I think I said to him, roll it, because this has been a fun battle, and it would be a shame to just assume I win the objective when you're literally within a charge of killing my boars and getting the objective. So we rolled the charge, and he failed the charge.
Okay.
So
at least there's that.
Obviously, if you've got 2 turns, maybe he moves up and then charges in turn 6, and I can't get away, and then he does get that objective. But that's a lot of time passes between that and turn 6. So unfortunately, Andy did fail that charge, and so I do win the objective with this one. And this is how it ends up, with my Gargantula unfortunately escaping the Kosh. Although, of course, we did end at the end of my turn, so technically he didn't actually get a turn to do the charge with. So maybe I'm a little bit guilt-free in the fact that we didn't play his turn 5.
Maybe.
No, but it's still wrong. But anyway, hands up. Cool. So yeah, everything went pretty well there, and I come out with a 17-3.
Wow, nice. Very cool.
Is a very nice win. Very nice win indeed. He does still have his characters on the board. He's still got his Elder. His Chosen Knights.
Again, that's the thing with
so
more turns. I think your feral unit does go through quite a lot.
That's it.
So
they're pretty much
yin
untouched.
and yang, isn't there?
Yeah, I think I would probably get the sorcerer points. Maybe get the Feldrak. Yeah,
ironically, if you put your Gargantula back, I think if he charges that, then your ferals go into the other stuff.
That's it.
So it's like it's one of those.
Yeah, and that's the problem with when you run out of time for turns, isn't it? Really, it's hard to see how it would have ended.
Yeah.
But every player would have an opinion. Like, if I'd have had 2 turns, I'd have got more points. If he'd have had more turns, he'd have got my Gargantula. It's hard to say, but you run out of time, and that's what happens. But we were having such a good time in those 4 turns. We were literally enjoying it, and I hope Andy enjoyed it as well, despite the fact he had a few situations that ended up being out of his control, like the flank charge of the Warriors was an unfortunate mistake he made, and I managed to make the most of it. So, yeah. A great game. My wrecking teams go 4-2 up on my mini mission, which is awesome. And I have won an objective again. So, and loving that.
In truth, you were never close to losing the objective.
No. The plan with chaffing his Chosen Knights and running away with my boars worked very well. It would have worked even better if I'd have actually done the maths properly on my common orcs.
Yeah, I guess if you just chaff him, then that's another.
I'll just stand there, because he wasn't actually facing me. He would have had to actually have turned to face me. And then I could have considered charging in the front. Not that I would have done if I'd have realised it was a bad idea.
Yep.
But I could have stopped him from getting anywhere close to that boar unit with the spoils. So
agreed.
Yeah, this was one where everything seemed to work for the orcs, really, apart from that one charge. So yeah, I was happy with how this worked
Good
out.
work. So that's you on 33?
15 plus 17, 32.
32.
32. Was it 15 from the first
I thought it was
two?
16, but that's fine.
It was 16. No, you're right. It was 16. So 33. Yeah, so, which is very, very good. Over halfway.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with that. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. And at this point, me and Jordan Davis start having a bit of a little war of words about who's going to win best in race orcs and goblins, which is nice. You know, I am only on 33 points, but I think it was very much me and him at this stage for orcs and goblins. Yeah, it was a good bit of fun as well.
Oh, great.
So go ahead, give us some more name suggestions for orc units, and let me know how much of a terrible person I am for Ravens winning. Ravens winging.
Specifically, if Tommy could do that, that'd be great.
Yes, absolutely, in his colourful way. That would be great. Awesome. Right, we'll see you for round 4. We did go out for a curry with a lot of lads, which was really cool.
Yeah. It always seems to be the case. We actually tried not to go for a curry.
We did. We really did.
We ended up in a pub and they said, no, we're not doing food, but there's a curry house down the road. So we're like, all right.
Oh, fine.
Let's do it. But really good night. Really good night.
And we'll wake bright and early for round 4, day 2. Yeah. Bring it on.
See you later.